true cellular detox is something, and again, I really believe this is a revelation for me, but I have 5 R's of true cellular detox, hence the word TCD. But this is obviously a cell. Within a cell, you have to understand that there is 2 fat membranes called a lipid bilayer, meaning 2 layers of fat that make up the cell membrane. This is really simply what I mean by true cellular detox. What happens is toxins come in and they start attaching themselves. And some of these toxins are even bad man-made fats that I talk about in some of my lectures. Some of these toxins are things that we're introduced to every day, flame retardants, plastics, different things like that, heavy metals. Well, these toxins come in and they actually attach to the cell membrane, and they cause the membrane to inflame. Once the membrane gets in this state of inflammation, something happens called a decrease in cellular fluidity. Simply means that things can't get in the cell that you need to make vital things like energy, and things can't get out of the cell. Simple principle. In this room that I'm in right now, if we lit a fire and we didn't have ability to get the smoke out, we would die. Well, the same thing happens to your cell. When you make this usable energy that your body needs for thinking, I mean, every process, this is the gasoline of your body, ATP. This is what you have to get glucose in the cell. There's a lot of different enzymes, vitamins, minerals that you need to make this energy so you feel good and can think and digest food, all the bodily functions that you know. Well, guess what? When the membrane is inflamed and you lose this cellular fluidity, now you can't get the good things in and you can't get the bad stuff out. See, because when you make ATP, you make waste, just like burning the fire in this room. And now it can't exit the cell. So the cell becomes what? It becomes toxic. It becomes a cesspool. So now you're trying to take all these vitamins and minerals and doing all these things, but really, guys, it's right here. It has to occur at the cell. So true detox has to occur at the cell. This is the key to getting sick people well. This is why most of you don't feel well. You start losing cellular energy, and the only way really to reestablish it is fix the cell. And there's something else that you're going to learn about. There's something called glutathione that every cell in your body has to have. If your cell does not have glutathione, it dies. Plain and simple. Glutathione is how your body naturally gets rid of toxins at the cellular level. Glutathione is also your body's strongest antioxidant. It's why vitamin C and E even work. So glutathione is critical. Once the cell becomes toxic, this major shield or defense, glutathione drops. Okay, so let's go through the 5 R's. Number 1 is remove the source. What do I mean by that? Well, twofold. Number 1 is that if you have silver fillings in your mouth, that could be a source. You're never going to fix the cell if your body's leaching mercury, which it does, and if you haven't seen that mercury video or a dental video, watch that. But these things leach mercury, which obviously affect you at the cell. If you're living in a moldy house is another great example. That is a source that can keep you sick. Now, of course, there's other toxins as well, but those, definitely 2 of the main ones. So we have to remove the source or work on removing the source to actually get the cell to function and heal and to detox. Number 2 is we have to regenerate the cell membrane. I just said that when you lose the cellular fluidity and things can't cross over the cell membrane or it slows it down, it affects cell function. And that is critical. True cellular detox, you must regenerate the cell membrane. And obviously we have methods to do that effectively. And number 3, you have to restore this vital cell energy. And number 4 is reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. Guys, look, if we don't reduce this inflammation, and there's also an inner membrane, the mitochondria, whereas this is where you actually make that usable energy, the gasoline, the ATP. This membrane here gets inflamed, now you're in big trouble. We have to fix and we have to reduce this inflammation on these membranes. If you do that, you will not detox, you will not get well. And lastly is restore methylation pathways. Glutathione is a master methylator. You need it to get rid of toxins. Methylation is one of those things that you need to function normally. It deals with adrenaline. It deals with how you feel, anxiety, the way you think, the way you sleep, all these different bodily functions. When your cell becomes toxic, you lose these methylation pathways or they get diminished. And it is impossible to get a sick person well without restoring these methylation pathways.
by which the body deals with stress, infections, and toxins, is called methylation. Methylation is a key cellular pathway that promotes detoxification, controls inflammation, and balances neurotransmitters. Methylation is involved in almost every reaction in your body and occurs billions of times every second in your cells. When methylation is performing well, it produces various byproducts, including biochemicals needed to perform other tasks. However, when the methylation pathway is not performing well, there are two main results. A wide range of key bodily functions will not be performed effectively, resulting in mood and emotional shifts, as well as liver, pancreas, stomach, intestinal, adrenal, thyroid, and hormonal imbalances. The byproducts of this pathway can lead to inflammation, a precursor to various medical conditions ranging from autism to Alzheimer's to cardiovascular disease.
What about those Chinese babies? Well, their mothers were conceiving in the middle of winter when the folate intake was low because they had no fruits and vegetables, and that triggered a very high rate of birth defects. Now, as I said before, the common link to all these three cases is a problem with methylation. So let me tell you what that means. This is a key process. It's essential to proper function for almost all of your body systems, and it occurs billions of times every second. Methylation helps repair your DNA on a daily basis. It controls homocysteine, an unhealthy compound that can damage blood vessels. It helps recycle molecules that are needed for detoxification. It helps maintain your mood and keep your inflammation in check. You see, you need optimal levels of B vitamin family to keep this methylation system running. So what are the things that can affect this methylation process? First, genetics. Now, an estimated 20% of us have predispositions to genetic problems with needing more folate. The next thing is our poor diet. The word folate comes from foliage, and you need to eat plenty of leafy greens, beans, fruit, whole grains to get adequate levels of B6, B12, and folate. Now the good news. How can you look at and actually fix your methylation problem? First, eat more dark leafy greens. Two, I want you to get also more B vitamins in your diet from things like sunflower seeds and wheat germ and fish and eggs, cheese and beans and so forth. Dark leafy beans, almonds, whole grains, all have great levels of these vitamins. I also want you to minimize animal protein, sugar, and saturated fat. And I want you to avoid processed and canned foods which are depleted in vitamins. Also, I want you to lower or reduce your intake of caffeine, which depletes folic acid and other vitamins. Limit alcohol, which also dramatically depletes your B vitamin levels. Don't smoke. Avoid medications that interfere with methylation like the ones I mentioned above. And keep the bacteria in your gut healthy by taking probiotic supplements. So just remember that vitamins and minerals lubricate all the biochemical wheels of life. Be sure you get enough of them through your diet and supplements.